I get those goosebumps I get those goosebumps every time you come around. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those times, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need the hype, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Loaded Mag NUFC. We are back again for the triple whammy tonight.
Patrick.
We thought we might be doing this, and we are. It's a triple header that's been created by the breaking news of Nick Woltermaid and his impending signing for Newcastle United. But we have a game to play. This weekend, we are up against Leeds United at Ellen Road, and we're going to get down to it and talk all things Newcastle United and Leeds. Boys, in the last couple of minutes since our last live, are we all good? Are we still happy? We're still buzzing about the news today, Champions League and our potential number 9 through the door.
It's been quite the day, hasn't it? Lots to celebrate today. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having Joe on tonight as well, talking a bit of football. And tell you what, Pete, we might have to have a little hard think about our starting prediction on Saturday.
Absolutely, because things are up in the air on whether he will be signed in time. But Daz, are you all good? How are you feeling about this game going in to the weekend?
Positive about it, Pete. It will be interesting to see if we get Nick over the line now, because we are short up top. We were saying the other day it's going to be a Sula, because we've kind of done a selection here already, but that kind of changes here now. But another quiet day unloaded. See how it goes.
Let's see how it goes. Absolutely. And look, we always do this on Loaded Mag NUFC. When we talk about a big match preview or away days, there's only one way we do this, and we get the opposition's view. And it's an absolute pleasure to welcome finally back in the Premier League, back on away days, big match preview, Just Joe's Football Show. Let's welcome in Joe. How are you doing, mate?
Can you
Welcome
see?
back, Joe.
Yeah, there we go. We're there. I thought it was my Wi-Fi then. I thought I was going off. How are you all doing? All right?
Good, mate.
Hey, good. We're as we said before we went live, we're all buzzing right now. Finally, as you said to us, Joe, actually in the green room, finally you've got your side and your striker.
Yeah.
So we're buzzing. Champions League draw as well, but you should be buzzing as well, mate. Back in the Premier League, you out from the Championship. You got your first win of the season against Everton. Are you happy with your summer business and what you've been doing so far in the first couple of games of the season?
I was until we got battered by Arsenal and then got beat by Sheff Wednesday in the cup, mate. So I'm a little bit down about it at the minute and lack of business towards the end of the window. But listen, I can't really moan about business with what's gone on with you folks this summer, if I'm being honest. So I won't. But of course, it's good to be back. Back at the top table, and looking forward to welcoming Newcastle. I was not confident, and then confident after Monday with yous dropping like flies, and I was like, oh, this is nice. And then obviously you've made your signing of Nick Woltermaid, and then I'm looking at like, when Ramsey came on, I thought, I forgot they signed him as well. And then it's like, maybe they're still going to be strong. So yeah, I'm good, man.
Are you kind of thinking about what you just said there? Because you were saying, a little bit underwhelmed in terms of the business that's been. What kind of business are you still looking for then, from a Leeds perspective? What are you expecting to see between now and Monday?
Yeah, so it's gone. It started really well. Like, we improved the midfield, we improved the defense. We've got a new keeper, which we needed.
Yeah.
But we were like waiting on the that extra je ne sais quoi in the final third. Them little bits of spice that you like. And it's been underwhelming. Calvert-Lewin on a free, Lucas Metra on a free. We signed Noah Okafor from Milan, and then he's injured already. And them three names that I mentioned all come with poor injury records, and one of them's played 70 minutes and got injured already. So I'm like, that's 15 million outlay for 3 players, 2 of them free, and we know like Calvert-Lewin's injury history, etc. That,
Yeah.
And we need a right winger because Dan James, big step up, and we've been linked to Buonanotte on loan today from Brighton, which I like. Definitely would improve us. But yeah, like, I'm really happy with what happened behind the front three, but the front three I think it's lacking. Like, we played well against Everton, but created nothing, really. And we went to Arsenal and created nothing, and we were on top against Chef Wednesday under 21s, and we go out on pens because we created nothing until Calvert-Lewin came on the pitch and he missed 3 sitters. So even though we created, he couldn't find the back of the net. So I don't know. I just worry about our goals and creation in the final third. But the midfield's good. It's combative. It's physical. It's athletic. I always used your team as an example, actually. I used to say we need some midfielders because, like, Newcastle will run all over us with their 3. And to be honest, our manager's switched to a 3 in midfield, which I wanted him to do. Obviously, we brought in Sean Longstaff. And I'm taking over here, right, Pete? One. I'll let you answer. Yeah, so Anton Stack, I like, that we brought in from Hoffenheim. He looks really good. We brought in Longstaff, which... he's just a good, honest pro. He's got experience.
You looking after our boy? You looking after him?
Well, yeah, we haven't seen much of him, mate, to be honest. Because he didn't start in the first 2. Because we have like Ampadu in the 6, Tanaka and Stack just coming on, and then he started against Chef Wednesday. And to be honest, no one was great in that game, so I'm not going to single anybody out. We were shite. So yeah, he will start on Saturday because, unfortunately for us, Ampadu and Tanaka are both out. So our 6 and our 8. So that's not ideal. So we'll have, a bit of a mismatch. But he'll start in midfield. So I'm excited to see him, to be honest, to see how he gets on. Because a lot of Leeds fans weren't happy about the signings. But I think sometimes people come up to the Premier League and automatically assume you can sign these world beaters. There's nothing wrong with signing experienced. I kept saying to people, if his name were Longstaffinio and he want my camera's gone. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I'll sort that out. I was saying, like, if he wasn't ginger and from the northeast and not called Sean Longstaff, everyone would be happy. You know what I mean? But it's because he's just like ordinary. So yeah, I am worried. I can't lie. It's the final third that worries me. It is.
Chris, Daz, it seems like Joe and Leeds have got similar problems to us because we were worried in ourselves with our injury issues, as Joe said about Monday night. But they've got a few players injured, including their new signing that Joe's just talked about as well. Is that kind of filled you with a little bit more confidence, the fact that they've got their own problems and it's about who's going to be or have the most fit players?
A little bit, yeah. Because coming into this game, I was a bit concerned because we are going to be missing some key players. Obviously, it looks like Joe Linton and Tonali are going to be out. We know Gordon's going to be out. So yeah, it is a concern. And Fabian Schär as well. It looks like he's going to be out for 12 days if that concussion is confirmed. It may have been today. Apologies if I've missed that, but so potentially some big players out. But as Joe rightly said, we've got some players coming in. And the fact that Leeds are also struggling, with their own injuries and stuff like that, it does make you feel a little bit better. But to touch, Joe, on your point as well about Sean Longstaff, we said on this channel, Joe, loads of times, whoever signs Sean Longstaff is getting a really, really good player. Because for 12 million rising to 15, that doesn't get you hardly anything these days. Like that is a real bargain. And I think, and I'm not being condescending here whatsoever, but Sean Longstaff is still a decent age, and he's Premier League experience, like you rightly say, and he comes in and he does a job. Even for Newcastle, we had frustrations with him and stuff like that. But with all due respect, at the time we were competing, to get in that top 4, top 5. Sean Longstaff, you're going to be competing, to stay in the league and even try and aspire to get in that mid-table. That's exactly where Sean Longstaff is, in my opinion. And I think he will turn out to be a good signing, and I think this will be made up with him.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, mate. I said to people before, like, at the end of the day, it's a player that's got experience at both ends of the table. He was part of the side when you were struggling in relegation battles before the takeover, wasn't he? So he knows what's needed, and he gives us experience in the dressing room as well. We've got a relatively young side, so yeah, I like the signing anyway. But we're not seen enough of him yet in a Leeds shirt, so let's wait and see.
That's the key. He needs to be playing, I think, on a regular basis. That's the reason why I think he's left Newcastle United, his hometown club, because he wants to play minutes. As Chris said, he's at a good age. He wants to be continuing to play football. Daz, what have you made of Leeds? I don't know how much you've watched of Leeds so far this season. What have you made of Leeds, and kind of, is there anything that you're slightly worried about going into Saturday where Leeds could potentially hurt us?
Yeah, they had a great start to the season. Then I did see a lot of the Arsenal game, and that was Arsenal as well, and they got a great result there. And then I saw a bit of the Sheffield Wednesday game as well, and the penalty shootout. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I must say thanks, Joe, for signing Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That was something I was worried about all summer. But the other thing I'm worried about is that my sister and my brother-in-law to be are going to that game at the weekend, because my brother-in-law to be is a massive Leeds fan. Shout out to Daniel and Jennifer. But and I'll never hear the end of it if they manage to beat Newcastle. And you're at home, so you're strong at home. That's the other worry. And I'm sure it'll be absolutely buzzing on the road. So let's see.
Yeah. I think that's going to play a massive part for us this season, is our home form. We have to make it a fortress, and in order to stay in the division, we have to get points. And look, as tough as it'll be, we have to try and get something against us, because it's probably the best time to play you. I can see, you tell me, but I can see everyone buzzing about the Walter Maid signing. I get it, but do you think he throws him straight in? Why does my camera keep doing that? Sorry, folks.
Don't worry. I think it's a great question. Like we were kind of on the previous show, we were just talking about it, because there's a window that he needs to be able to find in. So obviously 12 o'clock is the cutoff date. It looks like he's traveling tonight and going to have his medical maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. So whether it gets done in time, I'm not sure. I think Newcastle will try. I think he goes straight in my opinion. With the injuries and the issues that we've got, I don't see what's a better alternative. And I don't mean that we can't play a different player up there, because we'd have to if he doesn't get signed in time. But if he's available for the game, I don't know what's a better alternative. And it goes back a few years now to when we signed Alexander Isak when Wilson was injured. We threw him straight in away at Anfield, and he scored, and he was brilliant that night. I kind of possibly see it some way similar, in that because of our situation, Isak and his situation, he's not playing at the moment. We've got Gordon out. Willasuda, for me, is probably not ready to start, although at a push he probably would. You'd probably want to throw him in and just say, look, show us what you're all about. That's kind of where I'm at. But Daz, Chris, do you have a different perspective on that?
I would love him to start, mate. I would absolutely love it. I just don't know. There's a couple of things. Firstly, and someone else in the chat put this actually. Firstly, it's about getting it done before 12. I think that will be a push, unless obviously they work through the night. And secondly, I just don't know. I don't know whether Newcastle would just like to maybe, bring him out on the pitch before the game. I don't know whether they just do that just to G the away fans up. I don't know. I don't know whether they'd ask Leeds permission to do that. I'm not sure. Whether Leeds would want them to do that, probably not.
That wouldn't happen.
or just have him in the crowds, get him in the away ends, and just get him involved. I don't know, and then the sky cameras are on him. But no, I'd love to see him in the starting 11. But I have a feeling, and I will reveal this when we get to the picking our teams. I have a feeling that Will Asula might just get that start on Saturday. What about you, Das?
Yeah, well, I'll stick because you probably haven't seen it, Chris, or maybe you did catch the show. But we've already picked some of the team, but we might alter it slightly. But based on the fact that from Florian P has gone out with another bit of update there, saying that Watermaid is already on site, or maybe he's just on the way, with the medical schedule for Friday, so it's for tomorrow. So maybe it gets done before 12. I would imagine Asula will start, and as I said on a couple of shows ago, I think he will. Asula will get 45 minutes and see how he's getting on. Then, if we have Watermaid done, he'll get the run out in the second half. So Asula will get his chance after his goal at the weekend.
Just to update on that, Joe, Craig Hopes tweeted out and said Watermaid's due to land in Newcastle in the next hour, and there's a race against time to get him signed and registered before the game. The fact that he's reporting that tells me that they want him ready to play or be a part of the squad at least on Saturday. Not with other players in preseason friendlies and whatever, or even the beginning of the season, they haven't rushed a deal through. It's always taken a little bit longer. Like Ramsey last weekend, like they took their time with it. I think they want him to be a part of the game on Saturday. So again, I think you boys are right. It'll be watch this space. I think Will Asula will be on hand ready, but I think they're going to try and get him so he can travel to Leeds. That's for sure. But I want you to talk to me about your new goalkeeper or your current goalkeeper. Is it Lucas Perry?
Lucas Perry, yeah.
Because you had Ilham Meslier in goal, and look, in the Premier League, he made a number of mistakes. I know a key part last season, he made a couple of mistakes as well. And I know fans were kind of getting a bit frustrated with him.
Yeah, he was a car crash, Pete. He was a car crash. Like, I was a big fan of him for a while. He came in when Kiko Casilla got bombed out when we first got promoted a couple of seasons ago, and he sort of saved us. He's a young keeper. Lot of promise, big prospect. And to be honest, I think the amount of goals conceded when Bielsa got sacked, Jesse Marsh got sacked, I think it's just hammered him. He's still a young lad. Do you know what I mean? Goalkeepers don't hit the prime till the later on. And I think he's just gone, man. He's still a good goalkeeper. I still stand by that. And I think he will go on to have a good career. He's still very young. There's talk of him returning back to France. He's still not gone yet, though, so we'll wait and see. But I know he's trying to find a club. But he made some right ricks last season. Really bad. There was the one at Sunderland, your favourite team. I don't know if you caught that, but that was brutal. So, yeah, he needed to go. But then Lucas Perry hasn't looked convincing. So,
where did you sign him from?
Lille or Leon? No, which was the one with John Texter? Is that Leon or Leon? Leon. Yeah. I always get mixed up, Leon or Lille, because Goodmanson came from Lille and Perry came from Lyon. Right, there we are. So, yeah, good goalkeeper. If they didn't need to sell, we probably wouldn't have got him, right? He played in Champions League last season for them. So, with their financial issues, they had to get rid. So, he's an improvement. I just haven't seen him look great with his feet. And the manager wants to play out from the back. And then, I mean, he looked terrible against Arsenal, but I just think any keeper who lets 5 in is going to look terrible. Do you know what I mean? He's not really been tested. Everton were rubbish against us. So yeah, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see how he gets on. But yeah, I'm happy we signed a decent goalkeeper.
Do you believe that you've got enough to stay in the Premier League this season? Because that's the big kicker. Because you're looking at so many teams have come up from the Championship and gone straight back down. It's only really the season when I think Forest, Fulham, and one other, I can't remember, it might have been Bournemouth.
That's the season we went down, Peter.
Yeah. Okay. Apologies. But they all. Right. But since then, it's all been whoever's come up has gone straight back down. Yeah. Do you think you've got something different?
To be honest, you won't like to hear me say this, but us and Sunderland are going to stay up. That's what I've said before the season started. Listen, it might change, right? But I think a lot of people it's recency bias for me. Like a lot of people are making out newly promoted teams have never stayed up, but it's just recency bias, right? The last 2 seasons have been shocking. So when you actually look at the teams, you had Sheffield United, who spent next to nothing and lost Njai. He got sold. Sanderberg went to Fulham and they didn't do anything. So they were always going to go down, right? Under Paul Heckingbottom. You had Company with Burnley, who, like Russell Martin with Southampton, was just so naive and just wanted to play his way and just got whipped every week. Then you had Ipswich that bought for the Championship. You had Luton, who are now in League One. You know what I mean? So we know what situation they were in. Yeah. Southampton, I've already mentioned. And Leicester bought really poorly as well and lost Maresca and Dewsbury Hall right before the start of the season. So I think context has to be applied. And the newly promoted teams last season didn't get their first wins until November. Burnley, Leeds and Sunderland have already got them, and it's game week 2. So that tells me already it's going to be strong. Like, for me, it's going to be a battle. West Ham, already down, not looking good. Wolves, still chasing their win. So I think we're actually going to have a relegate. Like last season, you had top were finished, no relegation battle, and it was just a bit meh. I think this season, you will have a relegation battle, I think. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Now, who do you think, in your opinion, from the Premier League teams that obviously were up last season that are going to be there battling in relegation? Because there's been lots of different teams banded about, but who have you looked at and thought, actually, I think you're going to be in a battle with us this season?
Yeah, West Ham. I went 100%. I went and did this was before the season, not just based on the last couple. I went down and spoke with the West Ham fan Nicky, and he said, "We ain't done no business. We aren't spending no money." So he even said, I did a prediction video. He said we will go down. He said that himself. And we've seen how poorly it started. I don't know if you saw midweek, Jared Bowen, of all people's, arguing with fans. Yeah. And if you're a West Ham fan and you're choosing to give Bowen stick, you've lost your mind because he's your only good player. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand that. Wolves, especially Strand Larsen, I don't know, will he be happy now that his Newcastle move, etc.? So I think Wolves are in trouble because they've lost Aitonori, they lost Kuna. And then Burnley, I think it's a given. I know they beat Sunderland, but their squad's not great. And I don't rate Scott Parker. So I think that could be the group, really. And maybe a shock one. Who that is, I'm not too sure. I did say Bournemouth, but they've started okay. Because they did lose some, was it Dean Holston and the keeper? I mean, Kirkes looks a bomb scare at Liverpool, by the way. But I think there's going to be a battle, and I would put West Ham down there. Yeah.
Lads, any team that you would add to that situation? Obviously, Joe's mentioned a few that he thinks is going to be in a relegation battle. And as well, do you think, in your opinions, Daz, Chris, that Leeds will stay in the league from what you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I agree with Joe. I think Leeds and Sunderland have probably got the best chance of staying up. I don't give Burnley much hope. If I'm being brutally honest, I know Burnley won last weekend, but I just don't feel like they've done enough. I think Sunderland have spent a lot of money, and obviously they brought in some fairly decent players. Like, I was a big fan of the Xhaka signing. I think that was a really good signing for Sunderland, to be fair, and a Dingra. And then obviously with Leeds, who Joe's mentioned earlier, some really good signings, none more so than Sean Longstaff. I just think they were clever signings. I really do, and I think they've really given themselves a shout. I struggle, again, like Joe said, I struggle to see past the likes of West Ham, Wolves, Brentford. I think those three, in particular for me, those three are the ones that I'd be keeping an eye on. And Joe made a really good point with the Strand Larson thing. The fact that Will, his head's been turned. He's politely, I still find that funny that he's politely asked to leave Wolves. He didn't say it aggressively or nastily. But yeah, I think that that could have an impact on them. In terms of anyone else being dragged in, other than those three, probably not. I think those three are the ones that are going to be down there fighting. But I as I say, I totally agree with what Joe said. I think he sums it up really well when he says, that it is going to be a dogfight. I don't think we'll see what we saw last season, where it's all kind of wrapped up, sealed, done. I think that really benefited Everton last season, because Everton just pulled away and nobody else could, kind of catch them, and the bottom three were signed, sealed, delivered pretty early on. I think there'll be 5, possibly 6 at a push teams down there. But I think it'll be the ones that I've mentioned there. I don't see anybody else getting sucked in, because I think those ones are the ones that are really going to struggle for various different reasons.
Any names in there, Daz, before we move on?
I've got one for you, Pete. But I would like Leeds to stay up, and I said this the last time Leeds were in the Premier League. I think they still need to do a bit more in the transfer window to make that happen. And the other, definitely West Ham for me are in big trouble. I know they're bringing in a few midfielders, but I'm going to throw another one in there, and we'd all love this. Everyone watching would love this. Man United, wouldn't you love them to be involved in the mix? After last night's performance against Grimsby and all the signings and money they've spent, and it's all turned into pot for them now again. So yeah, make that happen. That'll be some year.
There was a few fans, Man United fans last year, that were saying that they thought there would be in a relegation battle this season, but they could actually be. Not that we expect it to, but I think it would be nice, wouldn't it, to see that again, especially with all the money that they've spent, and then to be in that knocking around there, that's for sure. I know there's a few comments in the chat. You mentioned earlier, and Sophie B's put about Tanaka being class. Is he definitely out on Saturday?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, he's going to be out, mate. He picked up. He played against Arsenal, and I think it was an MCL about 3-4 weeks, and he played on. So obviously he weren't fit Tuesday, and he won't be fit on the weekend. Ampadu got injured as well in that first game against Everton, and to be honest, like they're our best midfielders. You know what I mean? Ampadu's the captain, and Gruev's just a massive drop off. Yeah, so it's big misses. Yeah.
Wow. So that is a big miss in here. Are there any questions out there? Because I did see a few earlier popping around for Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Bill Ashby, thank you for your super chat, Bill. Bill says to Joe, so he says, "Big up, Joe. Great to see Leeds back in the Prem," and we all echo that, Bill. We absolutely echo that. Question for you though, Joe. Jeannie Esther says, Leeds will surely buy a number 10. Bilal El Kanous from Leicester would be perfect for you. Do you think it is a number 10 you need? And would you like El Kanous?
I'd love El Kanous, but we've been priced out of it. We've been linked to him. It's like 35 million. We're being broadcasters. So yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna spend it, if I'm honest. We are going for Buonanotte because Farke wants a winger /10. So we're going to play predominantly 4-3-3. But like when we played Sheff Wednesday, or teams were expected to dominate against, he likes to play 4-2-3-1. So on Tuesday, we didn't have a 10. Last season, it was Aronson in the Championship. He's not going to work in the Prem as a 10. So he tried Pirro there. Pirro's not mobile enough. So I think what he wants is a 4-3-3 with Buonanotte on the right. Then when we go to a 4-2-3-1, probably put Buonanotte in the 10 and have James on the right. Had we have signed Bilal El Kanous, it'd have probably been him on the left or in the 10, but we signed Noah Okafor from AC Milan. So I think that's I would have loved him, but I think he's too pricey as well. Now that the release clause went, they want 35. Well, we're not going to spend that. Most we've spent 15 million. So
I feel like we've screwed you over there, Joe, because you were kind of odds on to get Bilal.
And then you came in, right?
Yeah, the week
Yeah.
came in for him, and it was around the time where it was coming towards the end of his release clause.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
I feel quite bad from that perspective.
It was all up for it, mate. And then it was you and Palace because Eze went. I think Palace might get him, but now they've been priced out of it. There was even talk of Tottenham for a little while. So
I think, I feel a little bit bad now because I do genuinely think that had we have not come in for him when we did, it'd have probably been a Leeds player by now. But look, he can't stay at Leicester. He's already proven that he's capable of playing at the Premier League. Surely at some point, then you'd hope.
I think someone's going to have to pay for him, though, Pete, because by selling James Justin to us and they sold someone else, they've now sorted their PSR out. So they've said, now we're not going to sell him unless you pay 35. That's why Palace have moved on to other targets. So unless I think he's done that whole, I'm going to black out my social media. So I don't know. I think that's what they do now, right? They put a black picture on the social media, and I think they think that means they can go then when they've done that. I don't know. You know? Silly. But, yeah, he's got the black picture, you know, on the thing, because one of our players did it, and Nicholas Jackson's done it this summer. They've all done it.
Done it.
Yeah.
No one from our club. No one from our club would ever do anything like that. No, they think.
They just
Can I ask your opinion first? Does he go?
Oh,
Joe.
Can I just say though, I've been saying on every single stream he does not go.
Joe, does the Walter May deal today change that in your opinion? Because that is literally what we've just been talking about, and it'd be great to get your opinion on this because we've all had an opinion, but I'd love to hear yours.
I don't think so, no, because you're still down a striker because of Wilson.
Joe.
So I would say no.
Is Joe.
Honestly, mate, and I don't want him to go because I think he's been a knob. And also, I want to be able to go on other streams and go, I told you so. Do you know?
Subscribe
Sorry
to Joe.
for the language as well. I keep swearing. I'm sorry, folks. Sorry. I got told off in the comments. My bad.
Yeah, Irish Assassin said you were swearing, Joe, but I think it's because you used the Macam word. I think that.
Oh, right. Not that. Okay. So Isak's and Knob's okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. That's absolutely fine. Let me see, Joe.
Can I just say?
Oh, go on, Pete.
Sorry, Chris. Luke Edwards just said breaking. Not that it is necessarily breaking, but he said one of the three conditions have been met for Isak to join Liverpool. I think he's meaning in terms of us signing a striker. He said the second condition is that they now need to they now need to pay the 150 million that we want, and we need to get a second striker. So this kind of feeds into what Joe's just saying and what we were all clearly agreeing with, because when Joe was saying it, we were like, yes, that's the one. So it's three conditions.
33% chance that would happen.
Yeah, that's what you said, Dan.
I
wonder where you got that figure from.
At that point, 150 million needs to be met, and we need to get a second striker. So what we've been saying is still in play. Until those other two conditions are met, Isak stays at Newcastle United. It's now in Liverpool's court. The ball is in their court. What do they do next? So just wanted to, that literally, just as Joe was talking about it, it flashed up. So I wanted to, because it was relevant, I wanted to kind of just drop it in there as part of that discussion. So one of the three conditions has been met. So we still.
I'd rather send them on loan to Leeds, actually, for the season than them to go to
Yeah.
I'll take him.
Statements and all.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I know we've not got you for much longer.
No, it's all right, Matt. I don't have to go there till 9, so it's okay.
All right, okay. We'll crack on.
Well, I've got two more questions for you, Joe.
Yeah, man.
One's not really a question, but I'm going to make it a question. Tony Timebridge says the new Leeds shirts are unreal this season. How much are you loving the Leeds shirts, Joe?
This one's last season, so but we're quite lucky. I mean, I don't know you the same because you're a big club, right? I love that they do the retro-inspired ones, right? Yeah. Because obviously, if you're like normal club, you just get the stock season. So when we were in the Championship, it was the stock kits. This season, that was last season. we had the smiley badge done. I'll show you. Hang on, let me zoom out. Where we go. But this season, the blue one, I mean, is exceptional. I think I think it might be
behind you.
Yeah. But this, you might remember this one from when we were in Champions League. So they've done a rework of this one.
Love the Strongbow one, man.
Always reminds me of Ian Hart when I see that. Don't know why.
Yeah. Viduka for us.
Harry Kewell. That's crazy. We all had different players.
Yeah.
I like the one you're wearing against Sheffield Wednesday. The one that's behind you there.
This one here. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah,
it is nice. But even the announcement video for your third kit with they had the guy from Asia on and that, didn't they? What an announcement video that was, by the way.
It's got a bit of stick though. Like some of our announcements, I've got a bit of like a bit of stick, but obviously with some of them, obviously because of the Saudi connections and stuff, there always seems to be some negative. But I'll be honest,
I thought the video was quality.
Yeah.
Because didn't you have that Newcastle? I don't know the backstory. You'll be able to tell me. But the lad from Asia, did he like it because he saw Pardew try fight someone or something like that? Was it? Yeah. I loved all that, man. So
he headbutted David Myler.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, the only thing I don't like about this, and Leeds fans, some don't even buy it because of it, is the red. Because we really hate Man United. So in Leeds, red's a big thing. But that's the only thing that people don't fly with. They wish it was like, see that one, blue all the time, but Red Bull aren't going to say, okay, we'll pay you millions to sponsor you, but not use our proper image on the home kit. It is what it is. But
being called Red Bull and not having red on there.
They're happy to do like a third kit, but I get the flagship home kit. They want their proper logo on it. I get it. You know,
it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. And then the last question, mate, and I'm interested to hear this because I was a big fan of this player, and I've seen bits of him in the Championship, but he doesn't seem to have, kind of come to prominence like he did previously. But little Willie, at one stage looked like he was going to be class, but he never lived up to it and hasn't. So obviously talking about Willie Nonto.
Yeah, so he burst onto the scene in what was a really bad time for Leeds United. Obviously, we had Jesse Marsh, which a manager I can't stand. We go down and there was talk of him moving to Everton. He put in a transfer request. We said, nah, you're not going. He signed a new deal. But if I'm honest, 2 seasons in the Championship, he's flattered to deceive, man. He's been pretty poor. If you look at it, Somerville got a big move to West Ham. Rutter got a big move to Brighton. And he struggled in the few games since we've been promoted. He's looked better. And I don't know if it's a mentality issue. He thought that he was too good for the Championship, potentially. I'm not too sure. But I do think, I don't think he'll start. If we bring in Buonanotte, you'll be looking at Okafor and Buonanotte on the right. I think he's overhyped. I think even some of the Leeds fans think he's better than what he is, if I'm honest. But we'll see. It's time for him to put up or shut up this season, innit? Because we're back in the big time. So let's see what he's got.
That's it. He got an Italy cap playing for yourselves, did he?
Yeah. He'd had caps before coming over because he was at Inter Milan, and then they sold him. He went to Zurich, and then we got him for $5 million. I mean, that January, we weren't even supposed to sign him. We had an agreement in place to sign him in the summer, but we were supposed to get Cody Gakpo. That deal fell through, and then we were supposed to get a player called Bamba Dieng, and he didn't even get on the flight. So we booked him this flight.
I remember that. We were linked to Bamba Dieng. Was he at Marseille?
Yeah, that's right. We couldn't convince Gakpo. Then we said, even our chairman put out a tweet saying, "All welcome, Bamba Dieng," and then he never got on the flight. So then Leeds United went, right, that deal we've got for Nonto in the summer, let's bring it forward, and signed him in the January instead. Yeah, mad.
Yeah,
mad times.
It was mental. I remember that. Yeah, because it showed showed the live report, didn't he? And he was at the airport, and it was just like not getting on it, and everyone was a bit like, well, "What's he doing?"
Yeah, exactly, mate. It's mad.
Yeah, we talked about the fully loaded transfer show. Yeah,
it's mad, man. That owner as well, man, never helped himself by going out with it on Twitter and that. We just we look silly. You know what I mean?
Oh, we've just had a super chat in, so big thank you to Thunder for Mole. Thank you very much for the super chat. And he says, lads, ask Joe about what Wolfie said about Forest being better than Newcastle. The bloke's a joke, man.
I see. I really like Wolfie. Let me just say that. I think he was on the check. I think he was here.
Got the alliance.
Yeah, he was. I think he was on here just a second ago commenting about show and tell. But Wolfie's a top guy. He knows how to have people on strings, is what I will say. So he's managed to get you with that. As for we know Forest are a big club, right? They've got 2 European Cups. That they are a big club. They've been away for quite some time for sure. But Newcastle have a better squad. We were debating this earlier. I think Newcastle have a better squad, but Wolfie was saying that they do. But what I will say for Forest is they've done well in the transfer window. They've bought some very, very good players. Yeah, here he is. Look, I don't know if he's still here, but what I will say, this is what I'm saying. I hate him, and I just think he's got you all there, man. He's got you all there because Wolfie is a proper sound guy. He's just got you all eating out the palm of his hands, man.
Hold on a second. Did I hear? I've just gone off somewhere and I heard Wolfie thinks that Forest have got a better squad than Newcastle.
This was the super chat. Yeah,
from Chris Moore. Thanks for Chris.
Cheers, Chris.
Interesting, Wolfie.
Do you think it's up for conversation or not?
No.
I do. I mean, I do.
No.
Yeah.
No. I think Forest have got a good squad.
And
I said this to Wolfie last season. You know, obviously when he had his chest out, and funnily enough, Daz, it was in the intro. You know, when you changed our intro, and it brought me back. You know, when we were doing a top table talk, and there was like 9 of us on the show, and it was me laughing in the corner, and it was at Wolfie saying that he was in a title race. I remember the show, and everyone was just like, "What?" Like Wolfie just went there, didn't he? But I remember saying to Wolfie, you know, like I think Forest have got a good squad, and if you look where they've come, because what was it? Not last season, the season before, they were one of the favourites to get relegated, and now all of a sudden, you know, people are taking Nottingham Forest seriously. So they have done incredibly well, and I think they've got a strong owner in Marinakis. But
do you not think he's mental though?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he is.
The Greek Shug Knight is what Expressions called him, and I love it, man. The Greek Shug Knight. I just think it's brilliant.
Wolfie, what are you doing now?
He was for that week. He was. We
got him on this last season because you kept saying he was in a title race, and then all of a sudden he told us he wasn't. Look,
is Nuno staying now?
Up until the last week of the season, we were fighting in the top 3 for second place. So were we technically in the title race? No, we weren't, and neither were you, Wolfie. So stop it. It's nonsense. But yeah, we.
Do you know what though? Just on the Nuno thing, I don't think he sees out the season at Forest because I think the league form will take a hit because of Europe. Marinakis won't have it, and he'll sack him. So I think the relegated teams are on the race to Nuno. Sorry, the ones that are challenging. So I think if Nuno gets sacked and say West Ham are deliberating Potter, Leeds maybe deliberating Farker, they go, do you know what? Let's push the button now and get Nuno. So I think that could happen in that one of the teams down the bottom, if he does sack Nuno, will then go, right, there's too much of an opportunity to not, go get Nuno now. So, yeah, that's my prediction, my bold prediction that Nuno comes to one of the teams down the bottom end.
Well, I don't think you're wrong in that. Absolutely. Yeah. I think, like you said, as soon as there's a downturn in form, couple of games,
he'd be gone.
That talk of them falling out is just going to be back in conversation then, and it will be. Wolfie said he's clipped you on it. Be prepared.
I didn't say out wild. I didn't say out wild.
Right, because I know we're coming close to time, and I know you're jumping on another channel in just a second. Yeah. I will whack up the tactics board. So we've added Leeds to the tactics board finally, and we've got your squad there. I think I've got everyone in there, everyone that needs to be across the bottom. We'll go through it in just a second. But would you pick your first 11 that you think will be available and playing on Saturday?
Yes. So it'll be Lucas Perry in goal.
Yeah.
You'll then have Jayden Bogle at right back.
Okay. It scored against Sheffield United, didn't
He
it?
did, yeah. Sheffield Wednesday, yeah, he did.
Sorry.
Don't call them Sheffield United, mate. They'll be outside your door.
It's all right. My mate's like a diehard Sheffield United fan, so when I think of Sheffield, I always say that.
Joe Rodon at right centre back.
Yeah. 1 second, number 6.
And then I think he'll play Yacobiol for his league debut at left centre back.
Okay.
And then Gabriel Goodmanson will be at left back.
Did Biol play at the Euros?
Yes, for they played England. I can't remember if it was Slovenia or Slovakia.
Yeah, one of the two. Because I think he had a good tournament.
Yeah, he did. Oh, yeah, they kept us out, if you remember. I think it finished 0-0 maybe or something like that, Pete. In terms of the midfield three, you will have Longstaff, Gruev, Stack will be the three due to the injuries.
Longstaff. So say that again. Longstaff,
he won't play, so he'll be on the right, I think.
Yeah.
Right there, yeah. Gruev will be in the 6 in the middle.
Gruev will be in the 6.
And then Stack on the other side.
Okay.
And then we'll have probably James right.
Yeah.
Left will be, I'm going to say Nonto because I think Okafor's a doubt, so I don't think he'll start him. And then I think Calvert-Lewin won't be ready yet to start, so I think it'll be where is he? Lucas Mecha. There you go, number 14.
Lovely.
It screams championship, doesn't it? It's not strong.
Well, no, you got some players there that can definitely hurt teams for sure. But yeah, there's a couple like that. I don't know what Danny James has been doing for you
in the championship. He's been amazing, mate. He's been amazing.
Is it kind of that you just think he's not quite Premier League level?
Yes, I think he's that Dwight Gale kind of vibe I get from him. Yeah, he smashed it for 2 seasons, to be honest. Got crazy numbers. And Farker has improved him, but again, in the 2 games in the Premier League, he's just looked worlds apart, really. Do you know what I mean? So I just think I don't know, I hope I'm wrong. But, yeah. But Mecha's got to start if Calvert-Lewin's not fit, because Pirro's too immobile to start leading the line in a 4-3-3, I think.
Okay. Hold on. Let's see if I can try and change this just to get the names up.
Is Mecha related to the lad who's at Wolfsburg?
Yes, it's his brother. Yeah. So he came through at City. He came through at City, but he's had. We got him on a free because he's had injury issues. That's why I'm annoyed at our transfer business, because we brought 2 strikers in on a free. With Calvert-Lewin and Mecha, who both have injury issues, and then Noah Okafor on the back of a poor season at Milan due to injury issues. So I'm like, you spent 15 million on the attack, and they've all got injury issues, and Noah Okafor's injured already. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what are we doing? That's why my confidence has gone. Now, of course, it might change. You know, Buonanotte comes in, he makes us stronger. See what else we can add. But I think it'll just be him. And I don't think it's enough, so I'm worried.
Right. So we've got Joe's team, lads. What are we going for Newcastle United on Saturday? Of course, we've got big changes needed to be made due to injuries and suspensions. Boys, I'll let you take the floor. I know, Daz, we mentioned we had a few already in place. I don't know if you want to just shout them out first, but then you boys can work around the differences and what you think.
Well, Chris, you start us off, and if I see Anton, if I disagree with Anton, I'll press the buzzer.
You love that buzzer, right? Okay, no pressure then. I know there was a lot of upset and hate regarding Nick Pope and his lack of movement for that 3rd goal. However, I think that Nick Pope will start in between the sticks.
Okay.
Really? Already?
I knew it.
Straight away, I'd go at Ramsdale for this one. I know we're away
Will
from
Eddie,
home.
though?
Will Eddie? Probably not. But he's. I'm still going to say Ramsdale. But
Okay.
stick with Nick Pope there, because that's
sure?
probably be what Eddie goes.
Yeah. This next one's the hard one for me because
just before you do that, Joe needs to drop. So massive thanks for you joining, Joe.
No worries.
Can you just shout out where people can find you and so?
Yeah. Just your football show. I'll be there. Newcastle preview review. I think the game will be 1 apiece.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, you've got your prediction in. You know where to find Joe. Brilliant watch along. So make sure you go and watch it. Great content.
Right.
Joe, absolute legend.
Thanks for having me, lads. Enjoy. Have a good
Cheers,
season.
Joe.
Bye.
You too.
Take care, mate. Great to have Joe on. Brilliant stuff. And he's put his team out there. If I can get the names on, I'll try and figure that out in just a second. But
How are we
boys,
going to remember?
so we've got Ramsdale and we've got Pope. Who are we going for?
Let's stick with Pope. But I go Ramsdale.
Yeah.
Would you go Ramsdale if you had the choice, Chris?
Well, mate, I've wanted Nick Pope replacing for God knows how long. I think Ramsdale's a better keeper. I think we potentially play better with having Ramsdale in goal. I just don't know whether the Nick Pope lack of movement is a big enough rick in order for Eddie Howe to slam down the guillotine. I just don't. I think Nick Pope is probably on borrowed time, but.
So Pete, to see over beside where it says name over to the right, is it highlighted? Try that.
There we go. I think you've done it.
Yeah.
But it's not the right
It's
color.
only the font, isn't it? Oh, yeah. So if you change that to black.
Yeah. There we go. There we go.
Oh, good job. Good job.
Done.
Yeah.
Here's Daz.
Yeah, this one's hard for me because I want Lewis Hall to start. But on the other hand, I want Kieran Trippier to start. So, and I think if Lewis Hall starts, Tino Livramento goes to right back, but then that will push Kieran Trippier out. I know a few people have mentioned about Lewis Hall starting in the centre of midfield, but I just don't see that happening, to be honest. So I'm gonna say that Eddie Howe sticks with Tino Livramento at left back, because I think that Kieran Trippier should start at right back.
So just say that again.
Sorry, Pete. So I'm going to go
Trippier right back.
Trippier right back, Tino left back.
Yeah.
I do want to see Lewis Hall come in, but I maybe after the international break might be the best time to get Hall back in, because then he'll be fully fit, raring to go. I know he came on as sub against Liverpool, but I just think that he won't take Kieran Trippier out this team. And then in terms of defence, I think it will be Dan Burn left centre back.
Oh, big Dan Burn. He was absolutely sensational.
Yeah, he was. We say that every week, though, boys, don't we? We say that every week. He's absolutely outstanding. And then I think right centre back will be Malik Chow for his first start for Newcastle United.
Ooh, okay.
In. Yeah, and then in the midfield, Daz, and as I say, mate, do correct me if you think I'm wrong here, but I think it will be Louis Miley in the holding position.
Okay.
I think it will be Jacob Ramsey in the left centre midfield position. Pete smiling. Is it because you know Daz is hovering over that button?
On the cursor, I was hovering between these two because I was thinking, which one are you going to choose first?
And then on the right centre midfield, obviously, it will be our captain, our hero, Bruno Guimaraes.
Absolutely.
And then, and I think Daz will agree with me on this because we had a little conversation about it earlier, I think left wing will be Harvey Barnes. Right wing will be Anthony Elanga.
Okay.
And I think through the middle, getting his first start of the season, will be Will Asula. I think he'll start with Will Asula.
Now, you'll notice that I haven't yet added Nick Waltermay to that squad.
No,
Hopefully, very, very soon with the number 9 on his back.
Mm.
That's the only question mark that we have, really, in terms of who might be available. In fact, actually, no, it's not. Because remember, lads, we were talking about this the other day, and we weren't quite sure what was happening with Fabian Schär, because obviously it was a concussion sub. But if it's not concussion, I'm not sure if he's then cleared to be able to play.
Yeah.
It's not through medical tests. So I imagine we'll find out more tomorrow. But Fabian Schär could well be. So would that change anything if Fabian Schär was available? Would you still go with Malik Chow, or would Schär come back in for you, lads?
Go on, Dad. You answer, mate.
Yeah, no, I'd go with Malik Chow. I think he needs to start a game, and it just gives Schär the extra time then as well. If he's good enough to start in the bench, fair enough. But Malik Chow didn't do anything wrong when he came on, and I give him that run out. I'm just looking as well. I feel a bit sorry for Jacob Murphy. Like he didn't do anything wrong last season, and he's kind of like an afterthought for us now. And I want to see something special from Harvey Barnes, because as I said on one of our shows as well, when you compare, you can't compare him because there's a different type of player to Gordon and Elanga, but there's total speed merchants, and he just looks so slow in comparison. But he has different characteristics and different traits and different qualities that he brings to the team. But I do want to see Murphy getting a shot as well. So like this Hall, this Murphy that needs to come on at some stage, and Nick Waltermate if he gets signed in time. So there's 3 subs straight away that for a different dimension in the game. I
can't remember who said it to me, and they said it a day or two after the Liverpool games. It must have been Tuesday, Wednesday, but there was talk that Murphy had a knock, which is part of the reason why.
It was. I must have heard you boys say it. Maybe one of you boys said it on the show. But
I said it because Eddie said something in just before the game. He said something because there was the reason why I remember it, because that sparked a debate in the Irish Mags chat whether it was actually Jacob Murphy or Alex Murphy that was on the bench, and no one could quite figure it out for a while, even though it was pointed towards Jacob Murphy. But he did mention Murphy having a knock. So
okay. Just a little bit of an update. The Nick Waltermade, apparently it's a £69 million fee agreed for him, not 64. So 69 million, which is why I think it is the higher fee that people have mentioned. I think the English press are now getting confirmation from the German press and so on and so forth. But interesting on Jacob Murphy. And you're right, he had a great season, but he hasn't really kicked the ball as yet. But can you really take Elanga out of the team?
It's whether he plays through the middle, I suppose.
Well, that was a suggestion that I put in there in one of the other shows about him potentially playing through the middle. And, you go with Murphy, Barnes on the left and right. That could be a potential.
Do you think because Will Asula got his goal and played a big part, obviously, when he came on against Liverpool, do you think it's almost right that he's rewarded with a start to give him that big opportunity? Or do you think that he's still down that pecking order where we go, we've got Jacob Murphy coming in here, and obviously we want Jacob Murphy in that 11 because he's waited patiently for his opportunity as well? I think there's an element of that for sure. I think he should be given his opportunity, because if you're Eddie Howe, you want players fighting for their opportunity in the team. And you can't argue with the fact that Will Asula's come on and impacted the game. Yeah.
And in most cases, if you're a player and you're being told, right, you need to impress when you come off the bench if you want any chance of being in the first team, and then you come off the bench, you score a goal and you play well, and then you're on the bench again, it's kind of like, what? Like, what's going on here? Especially because there's been suspensions and injuries.
Yeah.
It's even more reason to go, hold on, I scored in the last game. Like, give me the opportunity to show I can do it again, and from the starting. So I do get that, and I think you boys are right. I think he will start for that reason. In my opinion, I think that he will get given the opportunity. So anything else for the team, lads? Anything you would change, Daz? Obviously, Chris has put his team out. Anything you would move around?
No, go with that for now. Like there's some positions like we have no choice as well. I do also want to see Lewis Hall back to his best, but I'm loving Tino and Trips that they're doing brilliant for us. So yeah, they have to fight their way back in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Look at the players coming off the bench. Potentially Nick Maltemaid starting off the bench, whichever. Jacob Murphy. You've got Joe Willett that's back in the squad. You've got potential of Alex Murphy being involved. Lewis Hall coming off the bench at Craft. Obviously, from a defensive point of view, you've got Sven Botman as well. This is the thing. Yeah. You know what? We haven't really talked about it, and I suppose it's maybe partly relevant because we've just brought him up. That he's arguably our best defender in the club, arguably, but he hasn't even been talked about as a potential look-in. He's fit and training and ready to play. What happens with that, especially with Leverkusen coming in and inquiring about him,
who are playing the Champions League?
Well, I've had a few people say, Newcastle fans that have said, some have said, sell him, move him on. Some have said, he's injury prone. He's not a player that, you can rely on, blah, blah, blah. This, that, and the other. And what are your thoughts on Sven Botman in this situation? Should he be considered an afterthought? Because it kind of feels like he is right now.
I think it's interesting, Pete, because obviously his main position is left centre back, and at the moment, I say at the moment for a long time now, Dan Burn just feels undroppable. Really does. We know Sven Botman can play right centre back, but then we've just put in Malik Chow, and as Daz rightly said, he came on against Liverpool, did nothing wrong. And it almost feels like a good opportunity for him, and maybe Sven Botman, should be wrapped in cotton wool, till he's 100% ready. We're led to believe he's 100% ready, but we've seen Sven Botman break down on many occasions, haven't we? And I suppose maybe Eddie Howe's looking at it and going, do you know what? We don't need him to play right now. Dan Burns in fantastic form. Malik Chow is ready to come in. Fabian Schär, there's obviously a little bit of doubt as to whether he's got concussion, whether he hasn't. Jamal Lascelles, is now back fully fit as well. So there's no need to rush Sven Botman back. And maybe Eddie Howe's thinking, do you know what? Let's just keep him in and amongst the team, or in and amongst training with the first team, and get that strength fully back up so that he doesn't break down again. I can see why people are saying cut your losses on Sven Botman in terms of, he hasn't been the most reliable injury wise, but he is a top draw centre back, and I still believe, like you said at the start, he is our best centre back when fully fit. We nickname him the Rolls Royce, and that isn't by accident or on a whim. I just think
he still holds weight, mate. He still holds weight.
Yeah, it does. And I think he's a fantastic player on his day. He's just been unfortunate with injuries. But I do see why people say cut your losses. I mean, if we, I don't think we would have seen it. But if Leverkusen were to come in with a 40 million offer, do Newcastle look at it and go, well, how long's Sven Botman been with us now? Was it 2 years or 3 years?
Three.
So we probably, assuming he signed a 5-year contract, we probably owe what? Less than 25 million on him. So if Leverkusen were to come in with a 40 million offer, do Newcastle consider? I don't know. And maybe Newcastle look elsewhere and look to bring in the next Sven Botman. I'm not sure, but I do really like Sven Botman, and I think keeping injury free and getting a run in the team, he will show his qualities. I have no doubt of that.
I think Leverkusen are chancing their arm here. They're seeing that Botman is at the moment, he's second for that left centre back position because of Dan Burn. Dan Burn has been absolutely unreal for the last calendar year or more. And I remember him, even the interview on Pod in the Time where his dad was on and says he always rises to the level when he sees that he's got someone to surpass to get his position. So he's, I suppose, Botman has elevated Dan Burn to be so good. So he's pushed him so to be that good. So but Dan Burn is not getting any younger. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't be selling Botman unless we got a crazy offer, and that's not coming from Leverkusen. That crazy offer for him, and especially now with the 3 days to go in the transfer window. See how this season goes for him. It's a big season for him that way, and can he get back in the team and how he performs, and most importantly stays injury free.
I absolutely love Sven Botman. I never have a bad word to say about him because I know how good he is. I had a conversation with someone about Sven Botman either today or yesterday, and I was saying, it seems like he's injury prone, but actually he's had really 2 injuries. He's had an ACL that's put him out for nearly a year. Then he's had his knee scraped, basically, which was not the same knee. It was a different knee. He had to have his knee scraped for bone fragments or whatever it was that put him out. It was meant to be 7 weeks. It ended up being 5. So he had a little groin tweak, which the player said he could have continued to play if he wanted to, and he's been fit ever since. So he's only really had 2 major injuries in his career, because before at Lille, he never really was injured. So whether that means he's injury prone, I'm not too sure. If he goes on this season and continues to pick up niggles and injuries over the course of the season, which makes him miss games, then you could probably have more of an argument for him being injury prone. But I don't believe he is. He's come back from a serious injury. I think Dan Burn absolutely deserves to start for Newcastle United. I think Dan Burn has been absolutely brilliant at left centre back. He's been superb. He seems to be getting better and better every game, and he deserves to be in front of Botman at this moment in time. That doesn't mean to say that we need to get rid of Botman. It is so hard to find a left-sided or left-footed centre-back that can defend as good as Sven Botman.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have 2 because we have Dan Burn as well. But we have to remember that Dan Burn's 34 years old, and at some point, he will start to drop off. But what better than having a ready-made replacement in someone like Sven Botman that's only 25 years old to come in and take the mantle? And you mentioned just a minute ago, Daz, Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. We're in the Premier League. We've got competitions coming out of our ears. We're going to need to change the squad around completely. I fully expect Sven Botman to start against the likes of Bradford. Maybe even before that, who knows? You mentioned Champions League. So I do think there's a massive role to play for Sven Botman. He's got to earn his way back into the team. The only question mark I have about Sven Botman is not his fitness or his ability, it's his contract. Next summer, he has 1 year left on his contract. That's a real difficult position that we're in. That's the only issue I have. But has he justified enough to earn a new contract? That's up for debate. I personally would give him one, but that's my only issue with him. That's my only issue with Sven Botman. Not his injuries, not his playing ability. It's his contract. I think Newcastle United need to get that signed up quickly.
He needs to justify it as well. He needs to get back in the team somehow. He needs to raise his levels and oust Dan Burn, if that's possible to do.
And not, you don't need to get the tactics board back up, Pete, but if we're without Sandro Tonali and Joe Linton for an extended period of time, is there an argument to play that 3 at the back and bring Sven Botman into the fold with Malik Chow? Is there an argument to do that away to Leeds? Would you be disappointed if we did that? I mean, you would assume that's what Eddie Howe has done against Liverpool. I'm glad he didn't, because it was an absolutely fantastic performance. and it was fully justified, the tactics and the way we set up. But do you think that there is an argument for it if it's over a prolonged period? It's a great way to get minutes in Sven Botman's legs, and also it kind of makes it a little bit easier, because let's be honest, Jacob Ramsey is a player who I would describe him as like a high energy player. He's got a great engine on him, and he's somebody who can get about the pitch and also go into those attacking patches higher up the pitch.
Yeah.
Is that something if say Louis Miley, Eddie Howe doesn't think maybe Louis Miley's ready to occupy that number 6 role? Is that something that you think he may consider?
What in terms of so what we said? Have we moved on from Sven Botman? What were we?
Sorry, yeah, I was meaning, is there a possibility of us playing 3 at the back with the wing backs, and then you're slotting Sven Botman into there, and it's a way of getting minutes into his legs because of the absentees that we're potentially going to have in the centre of the field.
Okay, I got you. I think there's a chance of that, but only in game.
Yeah,
I think if the game's going that way, just say for example we get to 60-65 minutes and we're say 1-0 up, and it's a tight game and Leeds are pushing, I think bringing an extra centre back on, going 3 at the back, and tightening up the spaces in the gaps, because Leeds play a lot of their football down the wings. They like a lot of wing play. They've got players like Willie Ngonto. You got Dan James. They like pace and running directly. So that'll be an area of threat. So if we're winning and we're wanting to hold on to a result, that's what I think we'd do, and I think that's where Sven Botman comes in. I don't think he starts that way. I don't think Sven Botman starts unless you're playing in right centre back. But for me, if you're playing in right centre back, what was the point of signing Malik Chow? He is a right centre back, so he needs to start. If Shaw's not playing, Malik Chow plays, and vice versa. And it should be the same with Dan Burn and Sven Botman. This is what top teams do, lads. Like they buy 2 or they have 2 quality players in 2 positions. They have 2 left centre backs. They have 2 right centre backs, and they only play in their solid position. So, yeah, I think it's an interesting question, but I can only see it happening in game for that reason. And it should, and so it should be. Dan Burn does not be displaced. Malik Chow played well when he come on, deserves to start if Shaw doesn't play. Sven Botman has to look. As much as I love Sven Botman, he has to earn his stripes if he wants to play in this Newcastle team. It's as simple as that. Sorry.
There's an argument for that Botman starts in that Shah position, but when he brought Chow on for Shah when Botman was on the bench, that's what he's going to do.
Breaking news, lads! Breaking news! Nick Watermaid is on Tyneside. He's just landed. Come on, just landed ahead of his £69 million move.
I see the plane. There's a picture of the plane in the air.
The striker's medical is booked for tomorrow morning. So whether that tells us he might not make it for the 12 o'clock or whether they start really early to get it done, I don't know. But the good news is he's on Tyneside, lads. He's made it. And he's about to sign for Newcastle. How crazy is that, lads? Oh, my God. We talked about him back in March, April, and it was like, we'd love to get this kid signed for, linked with Bayern. He's going by, for God's sake. Now he's on Tyneside, lads. What is going on right now?
We'll clip that up because we did a good segment on that. I think about 10 or 15 minutes on that. So it was mad.
It's weird. It's almost got like Gordon vibes about it, hasn't it? In terms of having a fantastic under-21s tournament and then signing for Newcastle. Like, it's exciting, boys. It's really exciting. And the last time that I was this excited over the striker was Alexander Isak. And you could almost argue Alexander Isak come off the back, fantastic reputation, but came off the back of a disappointing season for Sociedad. Nick Woltermade is been doing the business for Stuttgart, looking like he's getting his big move to Bayern Munich, and then he's come back off the back of a really, really impressive under-21 championships. So, what is there to not be excited about? We're breaking our transfer record, boys, to bring in one of the most exciting strikers in Europe.
Yeah. He better do well now, because we took over the Champions League draw with them, and we've taken over away days big match preview. We were talking about Nick Woltermade, so, and he had his own show tonight, so no pressure, Nick. So yes, we want to start on the bench and get at least one goal on Saturday. Bring it on.
Well, I missed the Champions League draw this evening because I was playing footy. So anybody who missed the Champions League draw, go back and have a watch of it, because I personally am going to do that, because I want to see how you boys react when that Nick Woltermade news drops.
Oh,
what was it like? Did it just flash on your phone?
It was kind of funny because we just before we went live, the Champions League draw, Craig Hope dropped his announcement just after 5, and we went at 25 past 5 o'clock, or half 5, and then we were we stopped ourselves talking about that, and then we got PSG, and then Pete was on to Lee about PSG, trying to organize tickets, I'm sure, for PSG, and then the whole Nick Woltermade thing blew up as well, and then we kind of. We lost track of ourselves a bit with the draw, but it was kind of funny.
Oh, just mad. If you'd have said this to me, well, I was going to say 24 hours ago. It doesn't even have to be 24 hours ago. If you'd said this to me 6 hours ago, I'd have gone, no, we're not getting Nick Woltermade. No way. Crazy.
Let's get our predictions, boys. Let's get our predictions for these games.
Otherwise, we'll just be sitting there, just looking into the sky, going, "Wow!" Like for the next hour or two, we can't, although people might like that, we can't be doing that.
And Todd, this is not the time to be coming back at us, Todd.
Hey, Todd, this is the time for you to bid. 150 million. You can get your man.
Come and get him.
Pocket change for you, Todd.
Come and get him.
Actually,
boys, on that subject, sorry. Oh, sorry, Daz, go on. You go, mate. Sorry.
I was going to do something else there for Todd since he's here. Hang on a second. Oh, sorry, Pete. I don't know what happened there. This is one for you, Todd. There you are.
Oh, that's Todd.
Do you remember this boy? Hey?
I had a quick question for you boys. And it's just because of what you said there, Pete. Do you boys see anybody else coming in for Alexander Isak? This has been one of the most mad, crazy, mental windows. Do you see anybody else coming in for Alexander Isak, given that Liverpool, have almost kept their powder incredibly dry? Some people will say that it's because, Alexander Isak and the agent have made it clear it's only Liverpool. And for some reason, the narrative with the media, this whole transfer window, whenever a player is about to join or, is interested in joining, it's like he only wants Liverpool. He only wants Liverpool. Does anybody, given, that we think that Alexander Isak is desperate to leave Newcastle United, he doesn't want to be here anymore, does anybody else test the water? Because everyone will have seen this Nick Woltermade news. Everyone will have seen it. Do you see anybody else coming in for Alexander Isak, or do you think it's Liverpool or nowhere?
Only wants Liverpool, or so Fab says. Anyone's flipping bid for him. That's why. For me, it ain't about that. He wants a heritage club. That's what Alexander Isak wants now. He's had a taste of getting Champions League. He's had a taste of winning the trophy. In my opinion, he now wants a heritage club. And a heritage club is a club that is going to be fighting for titles every year. He doesn't feel, and this is just my opinion, he doesn't feel that Newcastle United are making enough progress to be in that position to fight for titles every year. We're working our way there, but he's ready to fight for them now, every single year. For me, it's not about Liverpool or nothing. If Chelsea came in for him, he'd go. If PSG came in for him, he'd go. If Barcelona came in for him, he'd go. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, you can go through it. any of those clubs coming for him, he is leaving because he wants the Heritage Club. He wants to fight for titles. The only reason he keeps going on and banging on about Liverpool is because they're the only ones that are interested. This is why it's all come to the forefront. If Liverpool hadn't showed their interest this summer, and they stayed at Newcastle, none of this would have been a problem. But the fact he's seen an opportunity to get out to a Heritage Club, he's trying to take it. For me, it's that simple.
Do you see another Heritage Club coming in, or do you think they would have come in by now?
I don't think so. I think it's Liverpool or days. But
I don't think at this stage, because everyone in the world knows about this, that someone else would have showed their hand by now if they were interested in doing something this summer. But I think that's why I think as well he stays, and then he'll have a host of clubs after him, more in the Premier League and more in Europe to take him on next summer.
Boy, you know what's quite viable now? You know what's quite viable now is that we've just taken Bayern Munich's striking target away from them in Nick Walterley. If he stays at Newcastle United, and I mean Isak in this, Harry Kane's leaving on a free next summer. I'm chilling. I am chilling. I'm in the den. I'm chilling. You're gonna see this.
Is he learning German? Do you think, Pete?
Is he learning German? Yeah. Signs for Bayern, and he speaks fluent German. So he's played for Germany previously. He's played in the German club previously, hasn't he?
He has, actually. Yeah. He already speaks German.
There you go. But if you think about it, like Bayern Munich, Harry Kane's going on a free next summer. They're going to need a star striker to come in and replace. Will they have the money to get Isak? We probably won't get 150 million for him. Perfect. That they can maybe take him away from England and take him out of our hair. If he stays, I think that becomes a viable possibility next year. Bayern Munich.
Surely, maybe like Barcelona, Real Madrid might get in the mix as well. Yeah, who knows? How that all plays out. PSG, maybe. And he could have a great Champions League with us, and he could have a good World Cup as well, and have more suitors after him. But yeah,
and this is the thing, isn't it? If Alexander Isak doesn't leave, I'm assuming that he will sign a new deal, because I think the club will tempt him back in by making him sign not making him sign a new deal, encouraging him to sign a new deal, because there'll be a release clause in. And I just wonder whether that be January, whether that be next summer, whether the clause might be 120 million, then you might see more suitors trying to get their ducks in a row so that they can throw their hat in the ring for Alexander Isak. And who knows if it could be the likes of Bayern Munich, it could be PSG. Because this is the incentive for him to go and score the goals this season, to try and oust Nick Waltermaid out of that starting 11. Because if he doesn't, are these clubs really going to come in for them again?
So lads, I asked for predictions and I got Isak talk.
Sorry. Yes.
Joe's was 1-1, right?
Yes,
Joe's
it was 1-1.
Yeah.
Go on, Pete.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Newcastle.
Just before I come to my prediction, Matty Gorman. Matty, thank you, you big Liverpool fan. He's coming. He's coming again. He's loving this Isak talk, and he's been hanging there waiting for this Isak talk. But thank you very much for the chat, Matty. Come on, lads. We know how this story ends.
150 million.
150 mil. Let's go, Matty.
That's how this story ends. How have we got back to Isak talk again? What's going on?
I know. Sorry. That's Matty's fault. It's Matty's fault. I'm going to say 2-0 Newcastle.
Ooh, lovely.
I'm going to see Chris's 2-0 Newcastle and agree with it. 2-0 Newcastle. Asula, in the first half. Nick Waltermaid on his debut. for the second.
Oh,
Dream
Roy.
scenario.
He's going for it. He's going for it.
W's in the chat. Yes.
W in the chat. Absolutely. Well, lads, big match preview, away days, done and dusted, with a little bit of Nick Walter-made talk in there. But I tell you what, 3 shows today, people, for anyone that's still tuning in through us.
Yeah.
Top stuff. Big up to all of you if you've been here right from the beginning. Champions League draw, Nick Walter-made reaction, and now the big match preview. Big up to yourselves for that. Absolute top stuff. Make sure you click the like. Get us 250, 200 likes on your way out, people. Top stuff. And yes, Genius, the busy day for loading. And you've been here all the way through as a mod. Top stuff, Geniester. Thank you for plugging loaded and being there right from the beginning. I love it.
And we're not done yet for this transfer window, by the way. Because yes, a big. I'm not saying who, but I'm saying something big happening on Sunday night. I think that's still the case, and it is the case. And yeah, we will have a reaction show as well. Hopefully, that Leeds game, maybe on Saturday. So yeah, we're not done yet. More to come from Loaded. One more time, lads. Since we talk about him so much, we have to do it. We have to play out with him. It's our favorite player.
We do love playing away. Not said that for a while.
We do love playing away, is right. That is it. For our captain, track 39. Good night, everyone. See you in the next one.
So later in life, the things you love, you lose. But you've got the love I need to see me through. You got the love. 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 Sometimes I feel like throw my hands up in the air.